and this is Weaponized.
What if the AI suddenly creates the beacon or the signal or whatever the energetic output that their super advanced radar
level where we can have a conversation
and
with
so
them.
we go on screen all of a sudden, not because of our dumbasses, but because we birthed something much smarter than us, and then they show up. So that's where you could kick around if you want to just, for fun thought experiment, play around with the sudden appearance of these UAPs, assuming it's not something to do with the technology that we've developed. They're coming not because of anything we've done, not because they're afraid we're going to wreck the planet, but because China, the United States, that all recently poured billions of dollars into AI, has developed a strong general AI that has somehow sent the peak his phone home, and they're showing up, baby.
That's right. Except the UFO phenomenon has been happening way before advanced technology, so we have to take that into account, unless they figured out how to time travel. But check it out. I think where this conversation is going, I didn't expect, but I want to throw something down for you, because I have been talking with people about this a bunch. This is a big topic of conversation. Are these UFO things, and I don't know the answer, but are they extraterrestrial? Okay, I understand what that means, not from terraform and not from Earth.
Yeah.
Are they extra dimensional? Now, I don't know what that means, but people smarter than me, I'm sure, know about dimension shit, all that. It's a mathematics thing from how I understand it. But are these extra dimensional beings? Okay, cool, maybe. Are these extra temporal? And there are indications that they could be by the way that they operate through space-time. So you've got those three big things that now the public is kind of hip to, that this UFO puzzle could represent beings from extra time, extra dimension, extraterrestrial.
Or something in between.
There's something in between.
Jinn, archons.
Sure.
But the big one that is something, I've been kind of trying to wrap my head around for a while, I call it technoterrestrial. So the idea of panspermia, where a planet accidentally gets seeded with some sort of DNA or RNA or some kind of, and it populates through. Now, there's directed panspermia, which a lot of people don't exactly know, but I'm sure you do, which is the idea of an intentional seeding of a planet with some sort of life-bearing kind of growing fruit, right?
Crick or Watson wrote a wonderful essay on it, if anyone is interested, because they...
The DNA guys.
Based on the age of the Earth, they didn't understand how DNA had even evolved based on the age of the Earth. It seems very improbable that the number of perfect things that happen to create DNA could have happened randomly in the, 13.7 billion years the Earth has existed. The comparison, I read in another book, the odds are like, imagine playing slots and hitting the jackpot on a slot machine with, I don't remember how many, like a million cherries all lining up at once. Like it's that insanely improbable. So I don't remember if it was Crick or Watson, but one of them speculated that the only way, one possible way it happened was directed panspermia.
And so now a step further, if we say, okay, directed panspermia is something in our world that we could conceive of, my ideas for the technoterrestrial is that everything we're seeing, this explosion of human capability within the technological field, that could be the purpose itself on one level, which is that this directed panspermia, which really, let's just say, directed intervention within the human genome to create individuals that can then build technology to an end, and that technology itself is an interconnectivity that we would have with all the spacefaring nations, in the world. It's totally just a theory, guys. But the idea that technology itself and its fusion with consciousness, that maybe the end result is that consciousness itself is the thing that is being propagated. And I can't imagine something more beautiful than that if there's this vast cosmic universe and we see UFOs, and UFOs represent this sort of cybernetic artificial intelligence that comes from an AI that is here to not only seed humanity from a genetic purpose, but also inspire humanity to continue reaching farther and farther towards these goals of innovation. That is where all of this research has led me, is that there's got to be something about the beauty of seeding the cosmos with what we feel to be creativity and life and consciousness. And I'm probably totally fucking wrong, but I wanted to finally throw down the technoterrestrial theory because I think it's beautiful.
I like it. Technoterrestrial. Look at the parable of the sower. from this perspective, you know,
Tell me the
in the
story.
Bible.
Story time, baby.
Well, I'm gonna the parable of the sower. There was a farmer who threw grain or seeds. He threw seeds. Some of the seeds landed on rough soil and could not grow. Some of the seeds landed on, you know, I can't remember. It's a variety of soil where the shit didn't grow, but some took root. But if you look at that from the perspective of some kind of super advanced mind or civilization or God knows what, that somehow has figured out a way to time travel. I mean, this is something Terence McKenna talked about. Again, woo-wooing here for whoever's watching that's serious and a scientist. Obviously, none of us are that.
Oh, come on.
Well, we're serious maybe about this kind of stuff, but the idea being, like McKenna talked about, look, if you're going to make it, a time machine you can't go back in time. Like, in other words, you can't build a time machine and travel to a time prior to the existence of the time machine. But if you have a time machine, everything from that point forward could theoretically use that, whatever that technology was, to travel to the moment that the time machine was created, right? So from your perspective, imagine if, like, we're talking something so incredibly advanced, but something that also needed an Earth-like habitat, right? What more brilliant way to find Earth-like habitats than to weave together some kind of organic material, some kind of pre-cellular goop, send it out into the cosmos, somehow programmed to, over time, evolve to the point of creating a wormhole, a time machine, whatever. Send that shit out. And then, yes, some of it's just going to float in space forever. Some of it's going to, like, land in Jupiter. Some of it gets sucked into black holes. Some of it lands on planets that have water, that are the right distance from the sun. The process starts over billions of years, evolves some kind of humanoid being that doesn't know why, but it wants technology, tools. It wants better tools. It doesn't know that, like, it's doing exactly what it was programmed to do. And then it gets to the point where it opens up the portal. That's what we call the singularity. And in that moment, whatever created us can now travel the vast distances that would be very dangerous and would take forever to travel in a second. That's the UFO landing. Like, we're building the portal. We're opening up the portal for whatever this thing was. I mean, again, just a theory.
But it's the alien internet theory. It's the idea that we've created the situation where we can become part of a greater cosmology and understanding. I have no idea if this is what it is, but it's just interesting.
Well, we don't know what their time scale is.
Right.
So for us, 75 years of the modern UFO era is 3.5 days.